Hey guys, super excited for this one. This was my first community requested interview, and it was requested by the Spider Warden, who wanted to know if Elianora had any plans for modding Starfield. So I reached out, and she was nice enough to talk to me over Discord about her plans and what she's been up to. Now, she's probably best known for Eli's Armour Compendium, which is the mod you can download where she has her own shop selling clothing designs and leather armor, and you can go talk to her in the virtual world of Fallout 4. Not only that, she has done really high-end player homes for both Skyrim and Fallout 4, all very high functionality and high detail. Not only that, she is a well-known Twitch streamer. She has worked on the Creation Kit. She has been in the Creation Club. So she's pretty much been all over the community. So without further ado, let's just go with this interview. Let's do it. Oh, there we go. Technology, no matter how ready I think I am, just implodes on me.
The usual. My biggest woe is when Windows updates and it decides to take over audio again, and then OBS is like, wait, what happened to my settings?
Yeah, I just updated, it was the Elgato camera. And I was like, I don't know if I should update this right now, but I was like, it doesn't work with OBS sometimes. I'm like, maybe they fixed it. So luckily, I think it's okay.
Yeah, I'm actually like a few versions back or behind with OBS because it's just so bad. The newer versions with like performance and stuff. Maybe they patch it by now, but the 29 version of it or something was so atrocious. I was having so much trouble with the games that I regularly stream just fine, were like running like shit.
Yeah, I can't. Just so many programs you need to stream. Like it's ridiculous. Having a deck and then having the OBS running and then trying to regulate each sound bite and hoping that you're recording it until you find out you're like, oh, I did that whole thing and no audio. Great.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
MKVs. Yeah. I'm like, what is this stuff?
Right.
So I have to ask, you went to the event for Redfall.
Yes.
How did that go?
Oh, that was so much fun. Because, you get a bunch of nerds and you put them in the same location and give them alcohol. Now, only good things can happen. Now, the Bethesda Nordic community manager, Anna, is so wonderful. And she's like so attentive. And she loves small-time streamers instead of like, you don't have to be gigantic for Bethesda Nordic to notice you. And she does so much for the community. So it was wonderful. There was loot, there was alcohol, there was pizza. I got my nails done. They now say bite back.
You got your nails done there?
Yeah, they had brought in like a nail studio and they were doing gel nails for everyone. They were like, there was a huge line too. Like all the guys were getting like neon green and orange nails that is shown.
I thought it'd be Redfall themed.
Yeah, it was like do a Redfall themed nails, and the style in Redfall is like the fashion style in there it gives you options. Okay, my cat thinks I'm talking to her, and she jumped into my lap, and now it's hi.
Oh, cat person too. Yeah, I just lost one not too long ago, but yeah, I love them. I've always been a cat person.
Same.
I love dogs, but I don't have that attention for them,
Exactly. Yep. I love dogs when they're someone else's dogs and I don't have to look after them.
Exactly. Kind of how I feel about children too.
Same. Hard same.
Let's see. I had someone from my Discord, they said when I talked to you, say they're looking forward to the I Hate Mondays mugs all over their starship.
Yes, we need to have, we totally need to have those. Luckily, my friend made the model, so I can it's modeled by him and textured by me, so I can use it in any game. It's like locked into any specific game, so I can release mods with it for Starfield.
It's trademarked?
Yeah, it's not a ported asset, so, no problems with Bethesda and copyrights.
Bethesda's pretty good about it, but I know some companies are like, anything Nintendo or anything like that is.
Yeah, Bethesda just doesn't want their assets from one game to be ported to another.
Right.
That's pretty much the only thing they limit.
Even though they do it for 76, they put everything from Fallout 4.
Well, it's a bit different because 76 is built on Fallout 4. Like there's different tech, and then there's the same tech. It's basically same as Fallout New Vegas was built on Fallout 3. Like
Right, the creation kit, which is apparently someone Toasted Cat in my community said you worked on the creation kit.
Well, sort of. You mean worked?
Yeah,
Wait,
like
what?
help worked on the program itself.
Well, yeah, like quite a few years ago, Bethesda contacted a bunch of mod authors because they were releasing the special edition creation kit for Skyrim, and they wanted modders to beta test it because, we're the actual warfront that uses the program to make the mods, so they wanted our input. And then after that, it was the Fallout 4 creation kit. I don't even remember which was first, but I beta tested both creation kits for Fallout 4 and Skyrim Special Edition. And since being in Creation Club, I also helped add features into the Creation Kit that weren't there previously, that were in the launch version, not in any like Creation Club super special secret version that only Creation Club uses, but like the live version that everyone can download from Steam. There's like this feature for Skyrim Special Edition where you can hot swap kit pieces with mouse scroll and like a key combination. It's really good if you're building like interiors or like a dungeon or something. So that was added from Fallout 4 to Skyrim Special Edition because mod authors liked it so much.
Yeah, I heard there was something for, because I deal with dialoguing on Fallout 4 for sim settlements, so I deal with that pathway, and I know it's not as breakable as the Skyrim dialogue trees.
Yeah.
I can't say too much because I didn't work on Fallout 3 all that much, but yeah, no, it runs great for me now that I updated my graphics card. I haven't had it crash once, and I punish it. Like I'm expecting it to like close every time I go into the dialogue quests or to shut down on me, but no, I've had a pretty decent experience with Creation Club. What about you? So yeah, that's one of my questions. What's a Creation Kit? What do you want to see in the next one? Since you're intimately involved with it.
Oh dear. In the next Creation Kit, I'm super excited about lighting upgrades because there's so much new tech. I can already see it in Fallout 76. In the past year or two, I got really into lighting, interiors, and that kind of things I'm really excited about. And then like building tools, what kind of settlement building stuff we're getting with Starfield. Because right now we're like using NIFscope and Xedit to add like workshop items. Maybe they could have like a built-in system where you can add snap points, because you need for Fallout 4 you need snap points for everything. Imagine if you could do that directly in Creation Kit, or maybe there would be like a mesh editor or something similar to Output Studio or something like that. That would be amazing.
Right, because porting something from Blender modeling or whatever programs you're using, there's always a couple steps involved. I think a lot of people would be looking forward to a more integrated system, and they have to do something a little more step because they're doing whole planets with huge tiles. So I would think that they would definitely have a way more integrated system for these tiles, especially like fetch quest and how the system they're talking about, at least, where a whole town is created for one missing person or something, and then a location in a cave of enemies is somewhere. So they got to have it so it thinks of these things. It rolls internal dice, and it goes, okay, 3 buildings, 20 random guys that look like this,
Yeah. Also very excited to move on from 3ds Max 2013, which is what works with Fallout's export tools. So maybe we're getting more love to the modders, maybe get some new export plugins, maybe some sort of Substance Painter thing. I think it's becoming like a staple in the industry now to use Substance, because it's like black magic voodoo to make textures with that. So that would be really cool to see as well.
Yeah, it's 2013, and I think 2014 too, for I think you could use for Fallout 4.
Oh yeah, that's true. And you can't even buy them legitimately anymore. So it's a bit could use a new tool.
Yeah, you can hunt them down, but I also heard that if you had like 3DS Max, you can ask them, like email them, hey, can I get a prior version because I work on this? But I'm like, why don't they keep it up there for the people who get 3DS Max? I mean, it's not costing them anything anymore.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, those are my like things that I'm looking forward to in modding for Starfield.
Awesome. What do you think you'll be your first mod? I mean, you're well known for obviously Armour, Eli mods, and doing houses too. So Starfield is going to probably have a lot of player homes. Some of them probably fly.
Oh, wasn't there? I think they like teased in one of the videos that one of the perks you can pick for the player is like you own a house, but it comes with a mortgage.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay from what you earn or something like that. That would be actually amazing. If there's player homes, I could like overhaul those and make them look even more impressive because add all the clutter, you know.
Oh, I like your Riften house. I thought that was a really good one.
Nice. Which Riften house? I have many.
Oh, it's a pretty popular one. I think probably your 6th most popular mod in general. So
it's probably Canal Home, like the Thief Home.
Yeah, it's very darker kind of lighting to it.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert, I'm working on importing that or making like a newer version for a special edition because that's like only for old RAM.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, Riften houses are kind of, you think there would be more like sewer-based ones and stuff like that because that's the charm of that city.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to get one up because I'm currently doing a Thiefy playthrough of Skyrim Special Edition now, so but yeah, and then depending on the armor system, how it works out, maybe if I can do more mashups. Clearly we're getting like spacesuits and stuff. I don't really know much about those, and but maybe other kinds of clothes that you can wear. Maybe we have like a hot swap system where when you're in space, you get you wearing like an armor suit, and when you go into the cities, maybe you're wearing something different. That I could see myself making spacey mashups of things. Since I can't model anything, I'm dependent on like Outfit Studio and Nivscope for my modding stuff.
I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, okay, so you have this spacesuit. Everybody is not like, oh, my favorite armor is a spacesuit. I mean, obviously, like it's kind of like I know they're going for the NASA punk, but it's hard to be cool when you're wearing that all white NASA looking spacesuit.
Yeah.
So hot switch. I mean, you can get mods where you switch in and out of town with varying degrees of working.
Yeah.
But
also, please have built in take your helmet off when you are in dialogue.
Yeah. What? Why do games not have like? Let me make a perfect character. I want him to look just like this. Oh, he's beautiful. All right, now slap a gas mask on him and have him talk to people looking like a serial killer.
Exactly. So that's So hopefully I can do both houses and armors. That would be sweet. So many possibilities.
Yeah, I was almost thinking like it could be a form of power armor where you actually have the suit, but you get in it and it has kind of the armor and like wear and tear because you can see wear and tear on it. So maybe you put it on and as it gets damaged and it gets more closer to breaking, there may be some actual repercussions to that. I know that's not technically how Bethesda rolls, but I was still thinking that'd be kind of cool because you're at the mercy of whatever planet you're on. So if damage could also incorporate, hey, you're losing some air, so, it's a little bit of survival aspects. But I was thinking maybe a power armor type thing for heavier gear. And then when you take it off, you're in your normal civvies, your normal clothing.
Right. If there's background noise, my cats are like climbing all over the tables and knocking stuff over, so I apologize for all the background noise.
Oh no, that's like background music.
Yeah.
Kitty meowing. Let's see. Well, the usability of CK. I mean, I already know that you know the CK well. I think. I mean, what improvements would you want to see besides the actual porting of assets and whatnot? Like, what little details of it that are just annoying? That you may want added to the CK? So
there's one really cool, because there's for both Fallout and Skyrim, there's this CK Fixies. It's sort of a bunch of utilities and fixies for the kit that you can download with it. And there is a feature where when you that you can only search items in the object window with things that you've edited. That is not a sort of vanilla CK feature, and that one is really really useful. Like if you're editing a lot of Armour stuff and then you're searching for like camo, and then you just find all the camo things that are in your mod instead of everything in there that says camo in it.
Like a search tool.
A search tool. It sort of filters out everything that your mod has edited. You can even see vanilla records if you like edited a vanilla thing. That is something that I hope I've pitched it to them because I talk to them obviously. So hopefully they can incorporate that into it. And then I hope they still have the layer system that Fallout 4 has, where if you build things in a layer, you won't break pre-combines in exterior cells. Or in interiors too, I think. So that layer system is super valuable. I hope they still have that.
Yeah, I wonder what the pre-combines, because they're doing so much generation of places. I wonder only maybe in the cities could you really break the meshes and break their their NIF files or their compressed files.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty drastically different from the last CK and how they built this one.
Yeah, because there's so many new things that they need to. There's going to be so many new systems that we need to reverse engineer as modders. It's going to be really interesting to see how they've done the performance and optimization in this one. There definitely has to be some.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm kind of excited because this is like the modding community is an oiled machine right now, I think. There's so many good groups, so many big mods that people have learned how to manage groups like they're a business. Sims 2, I mean, we have meetings every week. Getting updates. It's a job. And now we get to start from scratch a whole Bethesda game where the whole premise of it is so much space to do whatever you think for modding. Like, it's developed for modders. I'm really curious to see like how fast after the game drops do people create the tools and the assets to make big cities and just go bananas.
Yeah. Imagine previously Bethesda has been really good with like the script extender team, where they would give build versions for them so that they can prepare for a game update and so on. It will be interesting to see how they cooperate with the modding community with this new game. We're in a golden age of modding Bethesda games, I feel like. The amount of amazing frameworks and utilities and animation stuff that's coming, especially to Skyrim, is like the modding community has really figured out most of the best practices, like everything practical about making mods. We figured it out now, and there are so many unbelievably talented people doing amazing stuff to these games. Skyrim is over 10 years old and still people are like breaking it and reconstructing it in new ways. It's amazing. I so can't wait. I hope we bring all this talent over to Starfield.
Yeah, you can go ahead and look right now on YouTube for 2023 updated Skyrim, what it looks like. And it's a before and after of like a house renovation of how crazy you can get the game to look in this day and age. And they adding Assassin's Creed animations and climbing ladders.
Yeah, we've got ladders, we got true directional movement, we got new dialogue systems. It's mind-boggling and amazing. And it gets me so pumped up just thinking about how much we can do. And because we have Bethesda support and they talk to us and they have this dialogue with the community, it's so easy for us because we don't have to just hack source codes and count hex codes for things if we want to spawn items in and we don't have to reverse engineer things like in other games. So it's so wonderful.
Yeah, hex terrifies me.
Yeah, same here.
I had to mod it to make the Fallout 4 creation kit for it to talk to the rest of the group's creation kit to make it
version control.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And just all I had to do was change one number, but I was looking at this, I'm like, this whole thing's just my computer's gonna blow up. I don't know what I'm doing.
Whenever I see like a code or scripts, or I can sort of understand what's going on, but I get this like anxiety feeling on my chest. Like I don't want to deal with this. I want to look at the pretty things, not this configuration file here.
Yeah, I don't want to see the skeleton of the person, you know? I just want I want to see the fun things, the 3D window. Oh, speaking of that, not only are we in the golden age of modding, but it looks like we're just at the beginning age of AI for these tools.
Yeah.
Have you messed around with any of them? I mean, there's 3D modeling tools that are coming too.
Oh goodness, really? I feel super conflicted about this because I know so many artists. I have people who've art been ripped off for all this NFT crap, and now AI, and then I also like want to support the artists, but at the same time, I see the possibilities of AI generated dialogue for it. It's a game changer, totally. So I don't actually even know where I stand in that, because I can't not support and listen to the artists' worries. I would like to see legislation quickly put into place so we have some sort of ground rules for this stuff, so that no one gets ripped off and no one makes profit of other people's work, and that no one making a character be a porn mod with AI generated dialogue. I cannot support that, as much as I love the idea of having like proper dialogue, new dialogue generated for NPCs, but there has to be a line somewhere.
It's hard, and I think a lot of people, you know, you included, we do things with our voice. We're entertainers. We do mods, which we know we understand the artists we work with.
Yeah.
It's a really gray line, and it's interesting when people who are not involved with it, and you can see their thought process of like, oh great, you can just create a mod and use the characters from Fallout 4 and it will sound really authentic. And it's a real gray area. Yes, we're still in the modding realm because we don't have to, we're not getting paid, so it lowers the stakes, but at the same time you're taking professional voice actors and you're using their voice to get something that's similar to what they do for a living, and just putting that into the space can be dangerous.
Yeah, it's such, because the person's voice is their identity, their everything. It's such a great area. I don't even know, because I don't want to dismiss anyone's concerns with regards to their work and their rights to their own identity and what they make a living with. So it's really hard. But at the same time, like, let's say a quick AI tool that creates paintings. If you want to do, like, I saw there was a mod that added lots of paintings to the Fallout 4 workshop mode. I don't think anyone's going to suffer from that. It's not making any money. You get some cool art really quickly to your settlement. It's like, what's the harm? I could see myself doing something like that. Or if you want to, like, that kind of like practical things where no one's getting ripped off. Yeah. I feel like it's good if it makes things easier for everyone.
I agree. And, it's really just when these kind of things come out where it changes the whole system, you just get aware of kind of like where the weaknesses of the capitalistic market is. Like things that are super fun and can really move technology forward, they're going to start impacting people's livelihood. And there's never been a good way for people to transition in this kind of like market where people are going to have jobs doing these things that go out of date. And there's no transition programs. There's no like compensation for it, because it's like, oh, well, you didn't make it, so, good luck to you.
Yeah. This is the whole automation thing that has me really worried. I'm going to get a little bit political here, but we were saying like automation is going to bring prosperity, and people can spend more time doing arts and culture and express themselves, and they don't have to spend 8-12 hours a day working at a factory or something. But we don't have any support systems in place for those people to be able to live that life. Like you can't, we don't have that kind of a socialist utopia where people can just be jobless and enjoy arts. And then why enjoy art when the automation is also creating the art? Like, where are we going?
Yeah.
Like, I can see, I don't want to be the boomer who says no to all new technology, but we have to consider so many things in this that it's not just, I can't support it blindly because it's cool new technology. I want people to be able to support themselves.
Absolutely. And it's hard because, I think artists should be paid. Even my logo, I paid my best friend more than
Nice.
he asked for. Like I figure if you gonna do it, you gotta help the community. But at the same
Absolutely.
token, it's harder for them to make a living because all the prices go up. And now they have
Yeah.
to charge more than you can afford. And then you're like, oh, there's a website where I can just type my ideas and then it'll give me a decent enough logo. It's
Yeah.
like it's hard to say no
It's
to
so
it.
hard.
It's like the
It's so
supermarket
hard.
problem. It's like, yeah, there's small stores that carry nice things and they have good people, but their avocado's $20.
Yeah, exactly. It's so hard. But yeah, I'm not saying no to AI tools, but also I want the community to sort of figure out its ground rules and play rules for this sort of thing. Nexus has already taken a generalist stand. I don't think we're ever come up to any kind of consensus where everyone is happy or a compromise or anything, but I don't know. I think Nexus will play a big part in that because they get the biggest modding site.
It's good you brought that up. I saw that Nexus thing for modding as well, where they kind of stand with it. And I don't know how much you followed on that chain, but there was some conversations in there. But it was kind of nice to know that the people whose mod were kind of getting affected by this, they reached out to the voice acting guild.
Yeah.
And, they're saying, it's not really our call because our voices are actually things we're selling to these companies whose call it is. So it's like the corporations own their voices in a way. So they can't really say, oh, yeah, it's cool to use my voice because the company's like, it's our voice for this.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, boy, how inception can we get with this?
Oh, yeah, it's such a pain in the ass. But eventually we'll sort it out, and there will be a way.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I think the grindy things of good modding tools that help us like with our creativity, like code that helps us do more things, like that search engine, or things that help us when we're inside the CK to help new people learn the CK and develop it. If AI can do that, I think that is a net benefit. But when we start going, hey, you create the 3D model, okay, now the program puts it in for me, and then I slap my name on it, and I don't care where the art originated from, then we start getting into some serious, some bad territory, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think the worst bit is when you're ripping off someone else's property and getting money for it, like profiting off of someone else. Then that's like my biggest annoyance in everything modding related.
Agreed. Well, let's go into happier territory of companions. We don't know too much about the companions in Starfield. I mean, we did briefly see that they do follow you, so that's a start. What would you like to see for companions coming into this?
One thing I really love in games, RPG games, fantasy games, sci-fi games, is dialogue with NPCs. I could spend forever just talking to them, figuring out their background. I think it was a good start in Fallout 4, where you could have the romance with your companions and good friendships, but it still is kind of shallow.
Yeah.
So something a bit more robust in a way, like they do in Dragon Age, for example. It's really cool.
Beautiful.
I love Dragon Age companions. Like sometimes you just start a new playthrough just to romance someone.
Yeah, I'm in love with Alistair, and I'm a completely straight man.
He's Ali Bear. He's the sweetest. Yeah, I don't think there's any playthrough of Origins that I haven't romanced him. I even used mods so I could have my elf become like the romance partner for him and be the queen or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I felt so in pain when I did a playthrough where I you have to kind of betray him in a way, and like the pain. I'm like, oh, this actually hurts. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
man. And then you see him in
Like,
Dragon Age 2 and he could be super sour. And I'm like, oh,
mm,
buddy, I want to play the first one to change my choice.
yep, I need to make a perfect world state. Like, this cannot stand. But yeah, something like that in depth with them. Maybe I would like to see companions that have more of their own life, not including Vasco, because he's like this is like a companion robot or something.
Right.
But like they have their own place where they return to. Like, even if you tell Piper to go back to Diamond City and look after her sister, she'll still be like in Sanctuary or something. It's so hard to dismiss them and feel like their whole life just revolves around you, and that doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a whole group of just following you like you're the entourage or something, and you're like, yeah, okay, I need you. You stay here for a second. I'm gonna go sneak this by myself, so you can just hang out right at the gate. You're cool, right?
Yeah.
I'll be back in a couple days probably.
Right. So if there are companions that are just like devoted to you, please let them be robots or something. 'Cause I felt so bad having Piper at Sanctuary when her sister was alone in Diamond City, and there's no way after that choice to send her back where she belongs unless you mod it in or something. And it never works properly anyway. So those two are like the biggest things that I would like to see improved in Starfield.
Yeah, and messing around with anything in Diamond City is just. I interviewed one person who did like the as a whole expansion, like the Diamond City Red Light District or something like that. I
Yeah.
can't remember the name right now, but yeah, my hat's off to him for messing around inside that mess. If your CK doesn't crash.
Yeah, Oreo game after that. Like the worst crashes I have and worst problems with pre-combines and things are always in Diamond City. I've never gotten any overhauls working there properly.
So yeah, any companions, and I would have liked to see more of the dialogue with her and her sister. You know, like what if you have the mailman, like who hunts you down in Skyrim? Like, why don't you have like a delivery service and be like, hey, your sister wanted to talk to your companion. Like, here's a letter for her, and she reads it. You know, something like that would make such a big difference. It makes me think of actually a good Skyrim mod. Like, you have a companion with you, and the mail comes for them.
Nice, that would be good. Yeah, and like in Dragon Age, the quests for the companions felt a lot more robust. Like when the game the main story went forward, it sort of affected the companions as well, and they had a chance to leave you. Oh, of course, I think if you do some choices in Nuka World, there's a possibility you lose Gage or Preston. But like they felt obvious. It didn't feel the same way in for example, Inquisition.
Yeah, my problem with the Fallout 4 one is that the story kind of gridlocks you into being a good person. It doesn't matter if you say shitty things. It just never feels like you're like playing a bad person, because you're still the same goal. You're this guy, lost his family, you're searching for your son, and you're just kind of shoehorned into that experience. And that's what I did like about Skyrim, is that you had the voiceless, the whole world, you can just imagine who you are, and you don't have to be with the narrative. You don't even have to follow the main story. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
I did like that. I'm glad they're kind of going back to that. I mean, how do you feel? I mean, I like voice protagonists too, but I feel like it has to be a very direct story.
Yeah, I mean, a voice protagonist doesn't really give that many options to do whatever your background is and your own headcanon for it, because there's always those 4 canned responses that you have. But at the same time, it's also the dialogue has to be written in so many ways, and so you have to take so many things into consideration. But it would be nice to have a proper like consequences for your actions. The world changes around you. People of course, Skyrim is a very old game, but people actually react to things that you've done. That would be really nice. I'm neither for or against like voice dialogue. I really like it. I love it in Dragon Age Inquisition. I really like it in Fallout 4. So, and I always pick good characters. So it's very easy for me. I'm always the goody two shoes.
That I would like paladin cleric type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I tried to play a raider character once, and I just ended up being like neutral, lawful character. I was like, why would I kill these people? I can benefit from them. So I never ended up killing anyone, and I would just talk my way or intimidate my way through everything.
Yep.
So at the same time, I would like us to have more option, and it seems there is some sort of upgrade coming to that with Starfield.
Yeah, the dialogue path that you just draw me on that, since that's what I kind of mess around with.
Yeah.
I would love a clean system for the dialogue pathways of not having to look at this crazy pipe chart that goes onto another page of like,
Oh yeah, I
where
know
does
that
this
one.
go? Hello, my name is, oh no, why does he keep saying my name is George? That's not the question I'm asking.
Oh no, I can only imagine. I've never looked into any of the quest stuff in CK. Well, I've tried to look at it, but it always confuses me so much. My brain just cannot wrap around all that engineering and tech stuff. I am a maker of pretty things. Anything like too technical, and I start having anxiety.
Yeah.
But yeah, something easier. If the protagonist is not voiced, it's so much easier to mod in new quests and even change the entire main quest, because you can force the dialogues to be from the player to be kind of anything.
Right.
So it's
So,
easier to change it from that.
I think it would be really cool if you also had because you're talking about the 3D studio, the upgrade for it. What kind of tools for 3D modeling to make it easier on your side, since you don't work with dialogue? What was the tool that would really make it so it's easier to produce more clothing options for on your side?
Well, if 3ds Max had well, because I hate using the program. I tried to get into 3D modeling, but it's just I can't wrap my head around that either very well. But Outfit Studio has been amazing. It's so simple yet powerful. For like, you can cut off pieces of armor and move them, duplicate them. You can either go by like vertices or an entire part of an armor. And if we had that in as like a plugin, maybe functionality for 3ds Max, that would be amazing. Or even built into the creation kit itself.
Have you tried Blender at all? Just curious.
Yeah, when I was studying business IT, I took some game development courses, and one of them was the 3D. I managed to make like a coffee mug and a coffee pot, of course, coffee me, but I just couldn't get enthusiastic about it. It was too many steps for me to keep my focus.
I was the same way too, but recently I picked it up, and I don't know if how many things they've fixed, but it feels so much more intuitive this time around. And I don't know, it may be worth a shot again because it's open source, so it's nice because all these plugins you can get for transferring over 3D models into Bethesda games and whatnot. People are always updating it because a lot of people do work with Blender. So I don't know. It is an option out there, and it definitely is better than when I first tried it too.
Yeah. Like back when Skyrim modding was just getting started, 2013-ish, like Blender had a really bad reputation of being like the impossible program, and people didn't want to learn it, but now everyone's speaking so fondly of it. So definitely it has come a long way. And there's so many tutorials for it now. Like back when I started modding, there weren't tutorials for this stuff. If there were,
right, the donut.
And there wasn't anything like how do you do things in the CK. There were like some obscure forum posts about it, but even YouTube tutorials weren't a huge thing back then. Like, so it was very hard to find information. The only way I was able to like have dialogue with other authors was through a Nexus chat. And these days you can find tutorials on anything, and it's all on you. I don't personally like video tutorials, which is ironic because I make them, but back then it was so much trial and error, and you'd have to do really obscure Google searches to find things. But now everything is so well documented, and we've got Nexus Wiki and all that stuff. And all the information back then was like from Oblivion times or Fallout 3 modding.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's the YouTube University for learning the CK.
Yeah, but now it's like the community's come so far, and we've got such amazing tools which are relatively simple to update for a new Bethesda games. Like we have Nifscope supporting Fallout 76 models now, and
Hmm.
textures and so on. So it's
And
going to be great.
patches and you know all the other programs they use like Fallout 4, FO4 Edit,
Yeah, Xedit. Xedit
Xedit.
is like the blanket term for all the different games. Yeah, it's come so far as well, and
It's incredible, like just being able to go in there, pop in really quick, and then just change
yeah,
it changed something into a master from ESP, and it's like there you go.
yeah.
Okay.
It is such a powerful and I would say intuitive tool for
Hmm.
modding. Like it's if I was to clean up a big mod in Creation Kit, like marking things for delete and finding your wild edits, it's a massive pain in the ass. There's no way you could do it there. And you just pop the mod into Xedit and you're like, okay, clean up, and then it marks you things from the vanilla records that you changed. Like, oh, I didn't mean to edit Bleak Falls Barrows. What's going on? My mod adds an armor, but CK does these wild and dirty edits, and you can just clean that all up in Xedit with like almost a click of a button. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's something that I would really like, some more intuitive way to see what your mod does in Creation Kit as well. That would be wonderful.
That's partly what I'm looking forward to with this is the modding community, especially the utility modders who are amazing people, to actually have like a group attack on this, like going, okay, so we're going to do this utility when we see this, and then you guys, your group, the patchwork, can you patch this for us? Like, I'm excited because this is really going to be something I haven't seen from the start, where everybody knows the game, what's coming out,
Yeah.
who it is, the program they used before to make it, the similarities, what's probably going to be an issue. I
Are
want
you
to watch stopwatch to see how quick.
are you in the Starfield modding server on Discord, which Nexus put up? Because they are already there is a channel or area in there dedicated just for creating a community patch, and they are already like in the planning phases of doing the unofficial Starfield patch, and it's a beautiful thing.
Oh
I,
man.
I just I, people are already like, so people are making models of guns and spaceships and spacesuits, and they're like, oh, just give me the tools and I'll put this in game almost day one. Imagine what it's going to be like. Oh,
Yeah, I'm
we
so
didn't have a
excited.
Discord before, like for Skyrim and even Fallout. When they came out, Discord wasn't a huge thing, but now we have this like such a universal tool for building communities and doing cooperation. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's what got me to do these interviews. I'm like, I love modding these games, and I love being in that community, and like how
Yep.
crazy it gets. I'm like, this is my one chance. Like I'm 37. I'm already like I don't want to wait for the next 10-year game.
Hey,
And,
same seas.
like I got to start now or never. And so
I mean, it's a wonderful time to come into the Bethesda modding scene. Like back when I was modding Skyrim for the first few years, and even maybe when Fallout 4 came out, we were having a mod author like discussion chat in Skype.
Mhm.
We had the chat. We were typing to each other in Skype. That was like, how ridiculous is that? And how close that is. Like nowadays, you can find any mod author. You just pop into the Nexus or Bethesda Discord, and you can find the author there. It's wonderful. It's sprouted so much like cooperation
Yeah,
and
everybody
collaboration.
has a Discord channel. I made one for this. Like it's
Yeah,
just yeah, communication has really gone super speed. It's funny
yeah,
though because I do a lot of messaging on Nexus, and it reminds me of like 90s chat rooms.
yeah.
I'm like, what is this thing?
Yeah, I people don't remember the good old times of Nexus chat when that was the only way to reach other mod authors, really.
And now it's kind of an antiquated version of it, but hey, it still works.
Mitä
uh,
kissavauva? My cat is talking to me. Meow,
is that its name?
meow. Uh, I all call them all baby cats.
Oh, is
Her
that
name is Noita,
Noita?
which means witch in Finnish, because she's a black cat. So witch's cat.
Oh, I love black cats. I had two of them.
Mm.
I also had one tuxedo with the little
Yeah,
white
this one
spot.
is a tuxedo cat with like white paws and and nice little white nose. She's
Oh, they're
adorable.
so fancy. So fancy cats.
They are. She's the fanciest, but she has like 2 brain cells. Brain cells.
Animals in Starfield. That's what I'm looking
Oh
forward
yes,
to.
there is a cat in the concept art. There's
saw
one
that.
concept art of this like space station or something, and there's like girl walking around with a guy in spacesuit, and there's a cat. I do hope we get cats in space.
Yeah, since they've been pretty on point with like not directly, but like a lot of the concept art has shown a lot of stuff that they showed in the gameplay. So it does, and they already had. I mean, you know how much time they spent on Dogmeat, even though they decided to make him a character and you couldn't have anybody else in your group except Dogmeat, which was weird to me. But I mean, they've spent so much time on how he interacts, the things he does, how he looks for things. Like he has so many unique things about him. There's no way they're gonna throw away that model.
Yeah.
So I hope they have some house pets.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Starfield pets.
There's also cats in Fallout 4, so they already have like the base for the animation. I would imagine they sort of can reuse some assets like animations to start building something new, so they don't have to start from scratch. So let's hope, or maybe we can get alien pets. Who knows? There were some like really creepy creatures in some of the gameplay footage we saw. They were.
You can have your own floater.
Yeah. Oh no. Maybe not. Maybe something cute and furry and harmless. No floating creepy things.
I wonder if they'll put in the Zetas from Fallout 4.
Oh, that would be such a cool Easter egg. Maybe we'll get maybe we'll get Nernroot again. Like in Fallout 4, Nernroot was like experimental Brotherhood of Steel plant, and now it's gonna be like a weird space plant somewhere, and there's still Nernroot.
Maybe that's part of the ingredient for the drug on Neon.
That would be amazing.
Can you collect me 10 glowing neon roots? We need it for our drug parties.
Amazing.
I mean, it is rated mature now, so maybe.
Right. Neon is going to be awesome to see. I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's a little cyberpunk in the world. It's funny because they have like a Firefly planet, a cyberpunk planet. Which almost reminds me of Half-Life 2, the Combine planet, because they kind of look like that military state.
Yeah, I thought I got like Tatooine vibes from one of the planets, Yeah,
that's the Firefly one to me. But yeah, it's Tatooine, that Western cowboy space.
I want to live there. I'm gonna make a house there.
Yeah,
I like that like desert space. Wait, what Westerner vibe?
Yeah, that Freestar Collective. Yeah, that's probably where I'd go to.
Yeah, we'll see.
See it.
Only 5 weeks until the direct. We'll see more.
That's gonna be fun. What are you gonna do a stream for that? Are you gonna come back?
Maybe. I think I might do a stream during that, like Ellie reacts to Starfield Direct or something. I haven't really planned. Usually when I plan things for streams, it's like 3 days before the thing comes, and then I bring up myself an immense amount of stress for not preparing on time and trying to do everything in 2 days. And like, I haven't up to advertise this, no one will find it, and
I feel
it's fine. I'm getting back to streaming now, so I'll probably have some coverage over it, and then of course later on streaming Starfield modding.
Yeah, I got to get back into it. I have a problem with my internet. It's like so unreliable, and I'm trying to get that switched out. So I've just been kind of holding out because I don't want to do a stream that's choppy and then have that be kind of on my page. You know what I mean? Like I want everything I produce to at least be streamed cleanly.
Yeah, it's true.
With the ships, and especially for you, since you like to build houses in there, what do you think of, like, what would you want to see for a house on a spaceship? Like, what kind of things would you like to be able to adjust in it?
I want to be able to color code everything. Everything has to look pretty. Like maybe changing interior colors, maybe this kind of wall, maybe some sort of wall kits, coffee making. Can we please have coffee machines?
Well, they have it in Star Citizen now, so they should have it in Starfield.
Nice. That would be fun. You said pet system would be nice to have pets in spaceships. I don't actually know if I would live on a planet if I can just customize and build myself a space home on a spaceship.
Yeah, it's a hard sell. The
Maybe.
only thing I can think of is mining or something, you know?
Yeah, like if you have a settlement where you have some sort of resources that you go back to, maybe you can only farm things in on a planet and no farming on spaceships. Like you can't have hydroponics there. Maybe then if you like can grow your own resources, that would be something that would be worth having the home there for you. I don't know. It's so many possibilities. My mind is overloading. Like, which do I want?
Because you're into the lighting of it, so you know, like I'm really looking forward to, because even the videos I saw was all the different lighting on the planets and kind of the different biomes and the feel. And it's kind of weird because Bethesda has always had kind of like one bland color palette for where they
Yeah,
start, and
yeah.
to see such already like a vibrant film, like it seems almost uncharacteristic of it. So
Mhm.
do you like where it's at, or do you think you're gonna first day just find a reshader and just make it your own palette?
You know, one of the first things that's probably going to come out, as it always does, is a mod that makes nights darker.
Mm,
I don't like dark nights. I want to be able to see it. I don't like darkness in TV shows either. I think weather mods are going to be and going to get super exciting. Like some of the
yeah.
extreme weather mods for Fallout 4. Like you can do like this, like firestorms and stuff like that. Imagine what we can do with different planets. You can do so many things. And to be honest, it already looks like someone slapped both E and B and a reshade on top of it based
It
on the
does.
gameplay footage we've seen. Like the LUTs, the LUTs already look so good in all the environments.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I would change. I like it so much already.
Yeah, the you said that the lots, the just it's beautiful. That's my biggest problem with probably Skyrim. Fallout 4, it's
Mhm.
not so much just because the world is already kind of that grungy trash, but like when you look across a beautiful forest and there's still that kind of like line between pure beauty and like
I can't play Skyrim at all without an ENB. It's like the first thing that you need to install when you start modding Skyrim again.
Yeah, yeah, it just so unimmersive once you like see that loading line where it is, and it's like nothing really truly matches it perfectly. That's what drove me crazy. So exactly when I saw the planets, I'm like, oh, this is a whole nother ballpark. Like you can look at the mountain range and just see beauty, opposed to like, oh, those are
Ah,
cardboard cutouts of trees.
yeah, exactly. But having just those planets and the LUTs and not like have crazy long viewing distance of trees, it's also good for performance. So it'll be interesting to see how those planets and environments run on different PC setups.
Yeah, there's some serious balancing, and of course, I think people are a little worried right now with kind of how the release of Redfall went, and
Mm.
Bethesda keep delaying the Starfield in general. So I think people getting a little anxious about how they're really going to be able to blend such a huge universe in with the Bethesda style games that we've been craving for so long again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think that's the biggest like one of the biggest game development hurdles that companies are facing right now. When you've got Microsoft and PlayStation selling these consoles that are supposed to be capable of 4K at 60 frames,
Mhm.
and there's that promise when you buy that console, but actually getting those games run like that, it is a huge undertaking. People expect the games to look amazing, have all the stuff, so much clutter, so much detail,
Mhm.
amazing lighting, RTX, whatnot. And then at the same time, they want it to run 60 frames at 4K. Even my computer can't do it. Why do you
Yeah.
expect the console to do it? So that's a big hurdle. I think that it's probably one of the things that is behind there, based on how the game looks. Behind the Starfield and Redfall releases, is just that technical threshold that they need to get past so that they can make it run beautifully on Xbox.
Yeah, that concept of 60 versus 30. I think a lot of people just kind of view it as better graphics or not, but they don't realize that
Yeah,
you're literally doubling the frames. like
the amount of work
the,
the device has to do.
the amount of processing of that. I mean, I know it's not exactly a 1-for-1 ratio, but it's
Yeah,
essentially what you're doing. You're throwing in double amount of pictures.
yeah, it's So I think it's really interesting gonna be to see how they work that out,
I just don't see them doing that on console.
right?
I mean, they
But that's
can.
the promise.
That is the promise. That is the promise, and I'm wondering if it's going to say 60 and it's going to run somewhere like in the mid 30s or something.
45s.
Yeah, that's probably
Definitely.
more reasonable in my mind anyway.
Yeah.
So you've been working on indie games, correct? I saw your bio there. Oh, what projects are you working on these days?
Currently nothing. So I was working in a local studio. We were making a fantasy survival like RPG game with a heavy focus on it was a survival game, but heavy focus on the narrative. But right before Christmas, we had to lay everyone off. It was quite sad. I can't really, because we had a publisher, so I can't really talk about what happened there.
Right.
But like most people who were let go have found new jobs. I haven't yet. A lot of companies are looking for like the guy who makes the trees, and I'm the one who puts the trees down in those levels. So it's been a lot of rejections because I couldn't 3D model things or make textures and stuff like that. Uh, and then there's a lot of space for level designers, but I'm not really a level designer. I'm more like level builder. You design the level, I'll build it to specs. So but the project was amazing. I hope something comes out of it yet. It was based on it was a sort of ultra realistic a game, takes place in the Nordic forests, lots of like Nordic mythology, weird creatures, a bit of magic. Instead of like cast magic from hands kind of thing, it was more like you would sing these poems and stuff would happen. Like you could make the rain come down and that would refresh the environment, and like mushrooms would pop out. It was so cool. And we were
So like a bardic.
yeah, so we were using you would like a shamans like a grandchild. So I worked that was on Unity, and now I'm thinking I'm gonna pick up Unreal Engine because it's becoming like industry stable. I only ended up working in video games because of Skyrim and Fallout, and because Bethesda gave me a chance with Creation Creation Club. But now I don't see myself doing anything else. I don't want to go back to doing anything mundane. That wasn't a passion of mine.
Yeah.
So it's been hard because I really want to continue working on video games.
Have you tried for applying for Bethesda? I mean, your name's already out there.
Yeah, there were a few associate level designer positions open, and I would probably make the cut, but they were non-remote, so I would have to relocate to US, and that's like a huge thing. So
yeah, it's a deal. My wife was from Japan, so yeah, I know the system for getting people over is
it's
not easy.
It's huge. Yeah, so it's a process. We'll see what comes out of it, but they definitely have a door open for me if we can just figure that thing out.
Oh, that'd be great to see. I mean, those are the stories I like. I like them hiring the mod authors who've really added so much to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone deserves
three of my friends from Creation Club are now full-time workers. They moved to Rockwell and they are working for Bethesda. So it's definitely a launching pad for modders to jump in.
Yeah. So if anyone from Bethesda watches this, please hire Ellie, okay?
Yeah, it's more of the practicality stage by now, and not that they wouldn't want me. So
right.
I feel very appreciated by Bethesda. Like they've always treated me amazingly. That's why I'm such a big fangirl, even after working with them, because they're just so nice, so inspiring, always treat modders with respect. They are so passionate about what modders are doing and excited about the mod community. And whenever I had like I needed help or something, they always been super supportive. So it's been an absolute pleasure and privilege to work with them.
I'm happy to hear that, opposed to companies, like the people worked on Witcher 3 or something, like where they're getting burnt out, or they just trying to push them till they break kind of thing. Yeah, that's once again the artist being taken advantage of.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that, and then there's the whole Active Blizzard thing and whatnot. And I'm so relieved to see. It's just my personal experience in one part of like Bethesda, but I have nothing bad to say. I've never had any. So that's one of the main things why I still want to work on video games, because of the people and the environments that you get to be a part of.
Yeah, they're a company who knew that modders really made their game last as long as
Hmm.
they did, and they've embraced it. And I hope when they go for the mod marketplace, they really take that into account. I hope they find a good happy medium
Yeah.
with the mod community, because you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot and try to just do paid mods for everything. I think there is a place for them.
Yeah.
I think people should be able to make a living if they can.
I was gonna say it's simply wonderful to be able to make a living doing something you are super passionate about, and people should be able to make money from mods. It's a lot of work. It's you pour so much of yourself into it usually, but at the same time, I absolutely hate like paywalling mods into, for example, Patreon, because there's so much gray area in there. People are ripping content from other games, porting it to Skyrim, making a porn version of it, and then selling it.
Yep.
I don't think that is the way to go. If we had a curated marketplace for this stuff, it would prevent all kind of content theft. And of course, there's still mods that cannot be sold like that, so there would be still that market and that area where you can get like your porn mods and like ultra sexy stuff that obviously cannot be, for example, in Bethesda net.
Right.
So that would be like a curated platform would be great. Less mod theft, and people wouldn't need to scour the internet for that obscure Patreon of some mod author who releases like t-shirts, and then after that t-shirt you have to still like use Outfit Studio yourself to fit it on your character and whatnot. A curated place would make it easier for people to find that paid content that they want, and it would give a lot of creators financial means to purchase these tools that you use for modding, like 3ds Max and Substance licenses. So it would, I would imagine it will produce better mods.
You know, my thought was, because of course we all love huge load orders sometimes just to see what craziness we can create. I mean, that would be impossible if like it's just say like $1 per mod, right? That's
Yeah.
just unfeasible, you know. So what I would like to see, I doubt it would be the way they take, but where they kind of do the creation kit or creation club type way, but they do the voice actors. They take from the mod community, the mods that people really love, and then they add lore to it that is officially in the game. Like full on, they add their signature to it and add a little bit of their own take of how they can fit it into their world, and have people make that be part of the lore, because that incentivizes people to make really good mods for the chance of it being cemented into the actual lore of the game.
Oh, that sounds like a really cool system.
Right? So that way everybody can have their fun mods, and you can go crazy and, you know, have your ooh girls running around, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you want the lore, the official game version of it, that is all the lore heads need to watch or play to add to their repertoire. I mean, think about it, for how long Skyrim has been out. If you had Bethesda doing the Creation Club, but they were adding lore that people already loved, like they liked this questing mod, they're like, okay, great, let's see how we can fit that into our lore and make it right. They could have been building Skyrim mod lore for 10 years, and they would have had like even more than it already is. Yeah, I think you could charge for those. People would pay for that hands down.
For sure. We already see that people will pay for all kinds of stuff, like with Patreons and whatnots that mod authors have put up.
Yeah.
So
I just don't want it to turn into the way I think Microsoft would want it, which would be like a Spotify, where you pay for a membership type thing, and you can download all these mods that are part of that group, and you pay, you know, $15 a month, and then the mod author gets like 2 cents per download.
Ooh, that's another prospect. Yeah.
That's like the Pandora way, or whatever streaming service you want to equate it to. Because that's what happened, because people didn't want to pay for an individual movie all the time. They rather pay for a streaming service and then be able to download or watch everything they want to watch and delete it when they didn't want it anymore. that's kind of where I see it going, but I don't think that's the best for the modding community, in my opinion.
I don't know. At the same time, then you wouldn't have to pay $1 for every mod that you download, reload order. You could just download everything, and it just needs to be in a way that it fairly compensates the mod authors.
Yeah, and that's the
Definitely.
scary part of like,
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Netflixes, the Hulus, the even Twitch. You know, like if they run the game and it's their platform, they can get a little rough with their compensation. You know, where it becomes like an 80-20 or something.
Yeah, that doesn't sound all that fair. No. Yeah, I don't know what the kind of best execution for that kind of a system is, but I think if done even remotely right, it could benefit the community, and of course, obviously, mod authors who are able to make money from it.
Yeah.
But I think it would. I remember when Steam first came out. They came out with the first paid mods. 1.0 back in whenever it was a horrible time, and I was super against it. But it's part of growing and being a better person at the end of your life is to change your opinions. It's okay. It should be okay to change your opinions. Like, people are still coming at me years later, like, you were in the Forever Free thing. You were against paid mods. Now you're in the Creation Club. You fucking sellout. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear.
Oh no, you're fine.
You can beep that out. But yeah, I also didn't think about basic human rights the same way when I was 20 years younger. Like, I've learned and I've met new people and I've got widened my perspective. It's okay to change your mind based on evidence and logic and reason.
Yeah.
But people are still coming at me like I sold out because I went with Creation Club.
No, we just, as kids, had no concept of money. We were still doing what we wanted to do, and we're like, we want to play this, and if we had to pay for it, we couldn't do it. So screw those people. Like, that's
right.
The child mentality.
Yeah. So I've changed my opinion plenty of times based on new evidence or reasoning, and I think paid mods can work now that the modding community is where it's at, and it's clear that authors want to make money with modding, and Bethesda sees the opportunity, already did during Steam Workshop paid mods, whatever. I didn't even remember what it was called anymore. That was like almost 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, they see the opportunity, especially Microsoft's acquisition of Bethesda. There's no way they saw 10 years of people still playing the same game and thought, yeah, we don't need to make money on that. We don't want any part of that. No, Microsoft saw that as like a big boon. Like, if we get Starfield out right, people are going to be wanting to mod this, and then we can find a way to add our way to make continual revenue from this, for better or for worse. But I mean, just from a business perspective, you'd be blind not to see the modding community and what they've done with that game and continue to support and think there's got to be a way we can get a part of that somehow. Hopefully they think of a benefit they could give to the community as a trade-off. Otherwise, it would just be a pure money grab.
But one of the things they told me when we started to set up Creation Club was that they want to give back to the modding community, and they want mod authors to be able to get rewarded for their effort. So they totally do appreciate the modding community so much that even if it's only dollar signs on the ice for some exec somewhere, still the people who are the developers, more regular dudes, definitely want to give back to the modding community and see the modders in more than just we can make money off of that light.
Yeah, Todd, listen, you better do it, man.
Right.
All right, I got one more question for you. You've been nice enough to give me this time. This is just fairly simple. Day one, Starfield drops. If you're going to have any mod, any utility, or any just fun mod, day one, what do you think you would want?
Okay, this is a hard one because we don't really know everything about the game yet. So
of course,
I can't
healthy speculation.
I can't really put my mind into what is the kind of utility thing that I would want to go. But two things. Free fly cam? It's like this script extender utility that lets you control the camera.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can sure, Fallout 76 has like a photo mode, but it's not as robust. So I would like a free fly cam on that, and then if there isn't coffee making, I want a mod that lets me have coffee in space.
I hate
Coffee
Mondays.
maker. Yeah. But mostly that, because I love screen archery for games. And when it's a new game, I want to get that vanilla experience. I don't need it to be modded yet. Both Fallout and Skyrim had 500 hours without mods. And then I started to add like texture in enhancements or whatever. So I don't really need it to be moddable day one. But I want to do pretty screen archery because the game looks gorgeous and it deserves good screenshots being spread of it. Something like that, a photo mode.
I agree with you. I think all probably mod authors are going to be really hammered on vanilla for several playthroughs at least, just to get a real good idea of like what they would want to adjust. You know, I don't think any mod authors really thinking like, oh yeah, I need like this super crazy like realm where you can visit hell, and then there's going to be like a tier system for armor manipulate. No, they're just like, you know, this one little thing, and then it expands from that, you know. So I agree, vanilla is a good start.
I think if you want to make good mods, you want to know the game a bit better from inside and out. So do that a few hundred hours on it, explore it, try different endings, whatnot. Like, you know the dialogue, know the NPCs. The more you know about the game in its vanilla state, the better mods you can make, and it will make your modding easier as well, because you know what you can find, what you can do, you know the systems underneath. So yeah, definitely you need that vanilla experience to be a better modder for these games.
It's a good point for all mod authors or people looking to get into mods. Make sure you know the game thoroughly, right? Don't play with mods. You're going to get yourself confused about what to create.
It's true. You won't know what is real and what is not.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it, and I'm happy that you know we can find a time to make it work. And
this is awesome. I love talking about modding. I could go on forever. So.
Oh, me too. I'm looking. I'm definitely going to reach out as soon as the game drops and we get to settle into it and play some of those hours of vanilla to kind of see where you're at with it, because it's going to be crazy. I really do.
It's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Can't wait. It's going to be great. If you want to talk again or do something specific, just, hit me up.
Absolutely. Appreciate it again. And thank you very much. Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
You're the best. You watched it all the way through. That lets me know that you enjoy hearing from mod authors just as much as I do. And if you would like to further the algorithm knowing that you enjoy this type of content, there is that little thumbs up button. I think when you push it, it sacrifices an electronic goat to the algorithmic gods. I think that's how that black magic works. Anyway, I also, of course, want to thank Elianora for talking to me over Discord. She was delightful to talk to. I'm looking forward to talking to her as soon as Starfield drops. And I'll leave all her links down below. Go ahead. Go check out her mods. She has so many. Also, buy her a cup of coffee. She loves coffee. And if you guys have any other mod authors you want me to go ahead and reach out to, that's why I'm here. I'd love to hunt them down for you. And of course, as always, stay safe and mod reckless.